good evening everyone. Tonight we're gonna talk about aging population. This is gonna be a very interesting sharing because I will share with you why our business is positioned in such a way. See you later.
So next topic is very interesting because we are going to discuss about the aging populations. Are you in the midst of it? Now many people have been asking us what business are we in? Now to answer that questions, let's take a closer look on the normal demographics and the normal growth. Today everybody knows that at birth we go through the birth stage and then we age and then we fall sick and then we die. Okay, basically life begins at age 0 and then we all know that aging begins at age 20 and disease begins around 40 and we start counting down at age 60 to all the way to the end point. However, with today's technology and advanced lifestyle and the lifestyle that we are having and the food that we are eating, basically this entire timeline has been shifted, where between aging as well as death, this is a gap where it has been strengthened or rather lengthened. Now, what do we mean by that? Let's take a closer look. If you were to Google the aging populations in the world, you'll realize that the global population age 60s or over the age of numbered at 962 million in 2017 and more than twice as large as in 1980 when there were 382 million older persons worldwide. The number of older persons is expected to double by age 2050 when it is projected nearly 2.1 billion. Can you imagine 2.1 billion elderly walking around on the surface of this world? Wow, it's awesome. Okay, and based on United Nations report, it is reported the world's population is aging. Virtually every country in the world is experiencing growth in the number of and proportion of older persons in their population. Globally, the population age 65 and over is growing faster than all other age groups, which means the younger generation is not growing fast enough in numbers versus the population and the numbers of people getting older and older. Okay, if the populations are getting older, by 2025 60% of them will be 30% or more that is above 60 years old. Okay, and for the first time in US history, older adults are projected to outnumber children by 2035, which means by then the old people are more than the younger children. And in Japan, take a closer look. Basically, by 2050, between here and here, the red color are children. This is the aging population, including the working population that is above 60 or even nearly 60, which means literally 70 to 80% are aging for Japan. And in Singapore, being a citizen here, by next year, 1 in 6 will be 65 years old and above. And by 2025, 1 in 5 will be 65 years old. And by 1 in 4 will be 65 years old and above. Which means by 2030 in Singapore, every 4 Singapore citizen, you will see 1 that is above 65 years old. Okay, and for Malaysia and China, take a closer look. By 2030, for Malaysia, it will hit 11% of rapid aging society. And for China, it will hit 35% that's above 60 years old. For Hong Kong, faces challenge in how to manage its aging population. Basically, what it says in the report, according to Hong Kong population projections 2015 to 2064, the number of elderly people, those aged 65 or older, in Hong Kong will reach 2.58 million by 2064. Around 35.9% of the population, the workforce, those aged 15 to 64, will shrink to 3.92 million, which is 54% of the population. In short, that means literally 40% of the people are not working. The whole of Hong Kong economy, in order for Hong Kong to move, will rely on the remaining 60% of the people. And for Korea, South Korea will be even worse because it is in the red, 118.6% of the aging by 2037. Okay, now in 2000, 810 million people were aged 60 or over. In 2050, the number will rise to 2 billion. That's 22% of the world's population. And by 2100, the whole population of the aging above 60 years old will hit 3.1 billion. That is a huge number of old people walking around, okay? Elderly walking around. Now, with aging population in the world comes what we call elderly health problems, range between obesity, eye disease, heart disease, diabetic, osteoarthritis, anemia, gallstone, osteoporosis, high blood pressure, memory loss and memory due to old age, not able to remember properly, or dementia, or cancer, as well as emotional. Okay, these are all the diseases or all the health situation or problems related to elderly as we age. Now, why are people worried about health issue? Because with health issue comes medical costs. Okay, among other things, let's take a closer look. 1 in 4 of the older adults fall annually, resulting in approximately very high cost. Let me explain. That means very naturally every year out of 4 elderly, 1 will fall down, and when that happens, basically 800,000 of hospitalizations, 31 billion in healthcare costs incurred, and 2.8 million emergency department visits, which will turn into what we call you need manpower to support them. Now, why is this important for all the government to take a look? Because with all elderly medical costs, there is always subsidy. And subsidy comes with the economy and how well the economy is doing in each country. So every country, every government will need to find a way to be able to sustain this particular subsidy. So let's take a closer look. In 2006, it's approximately 6.9 citizens working of age in order to support 1 older adult. By 2016, it's only 4.7 citizens working to support 1 older adult. By 2030, it left 2.3 citizens to support 1 older adult. Now here comes. By 2050, there will be just 2 working age people per 1 elderly person in Europe. Key being, is it only Europe or the rest of the world that have similar problem? So what business are we in? Basically, we are in the business of making life meaningful by providing a platform for 10 million people to solve their health and medical cost issues. If you are interested in being part of this solution, please contact all our partners from Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, South Korea, Japan, Italy, Germany, Cambodia, and Vietnam for more information. With this, I thank you everyone for listening and understanding the entire situation and what our company's position is. This is a next 30-year job. This is a next 30-year solution for what is coming. With this, I see you guys at the top. Thank you.
Now that you have listened to the whole thing, you realize that we are building something very big. We are building a platform that is able to help solve the medical cost as well as the health issue. And we want to help 10 million people. So I really sincerely invite anyone that's interested in becoming part of this solution. Let's come together, let's explore. Can we do something like this? Aging population for the world, as well as in Singapore, actually affects most of us. So feel free to contact any of our partners. Feel free to even PM me if you need to. I'll see you guys and let's talk and let's explore anywhere. Okay? See you soon.